Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Antonio here. I just wanted to do something here, and it's largely based on a lot of what I listened to on the radio today. And of course, there's still a lot of talk and a lot of tributes, if you will, for Kobe Bryant and his family. And um, this is really the last time I'm actually going to say this in a video because I want to definitely move on to other things, but at the same time, you know, I've noticed a lot of stuff that I'm hearing about it. There, there's something to being able to touch someone's life, or be able to touch the lives of others. And Kobe was definitely great about that. And that's something that a lot of people would tell me that was most remarkable about my father as well. So, it's interesting to see that commonality between the two of them on that. But, still want to say condolences not only to the Bryant family, and I definitely want to offer out best wishes to those who also lost someone in the crash, one way or the other, from the pilot, the other parents, the children. And that's just the sad thing about it, is that the children definitely shouldn't have been there. They shouldn't have had to go through that. None of them should have, in a bigger picture of things. But I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. I'm pretty sure I might or might not have, but I just wanted to say condolences to all that are involved. Rest in peace, not just to Kobe, Gianna, everybody that was on the flight. I don't know all the names in particular. As I was listening to the radio, they talked about one of the passengers that was a baseball coach for a college. I don't remember that all off the top of my head right now, but there's definitely a lot that was lost in that. So again, just best wishes to all that are involved, especially for those who lost somebody in this terrible incident. But that aside, what I really wanted to get to is just actually finally start getting into the basis of what a lot of my content is going to involve. As I said, I love talking about sports and everything, and we've got Super Bowl weekend upon us. We're literally just days away. Let me see, it's Tuesday night now, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so really 5 days away. And it's certainly something that we're looking forward to. In fact, I do want to point out that I am looking to do what I can to see about doing a live reaction stream for the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure I may or may not have mentioned that, but I'm only going to be doing that on Twitch for right now. I may try it with YouTube, but I'm not real sure. I'm actually going to, whenever I have time, do a couple of test streams between YouTube and Twitch. I feel like more than likely it's gonna be Twitch, but I'm just gonna play around with some things and see how all that works out. Again, I'm still learning the process of how all this works when it comes to content creation and everything. So like I said, I hope that a lot of you bear with me and just are able to have patience with me on that, because there's a lot of things that I'm still yet to figure out, but I'll pick up on it. I like to think that I'm a quick learner and everything, but everything in its own time and place. That said, just talking about the game, which for me personally, I'll just come right out and point out, I've got Kansas City winning it, and it's going to be a close one. I don't see the game ending beyond, I'm going to say, a touchdown difference, literally 7 points at the most. And hopefully for all of us, it's going to be a lot closer than that, because both Kansas City and San Francisco are fantastic teams on both sides of the ball, especially San Francisco on their defense. And you would like to think that that would be the way to go, and typically I would honestly go that route. But man, that dude Patrick Mahomes, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times over and over again until I too blue in the face and maybe my head explodes or whatever happens with that sort of thing. But in all seriousness, I have multiple times referred to Patrick Mahomes as football Steph Curry. I mean, you just think about Steph Curry, especially when healthy, and he does these things that are just magical. I mean, you'll never see too much of anyone else, if ever, um, anytime again in the near future, because that's just one of a kind stuff. And that's exactly what we're talking about here with Mahomes. But the thing about it is that it's not just Mahomes, to me, that is going to wind up being the difference as far as why I go with the Chiefs over the 49ers. And it's kind of wild, that I'm going this route given that I'm actually a Broncos fan, and I'm sure a lot of people hearing this is like, they're like, why are you even thinking about going with the Chiefs? So just to be clear on this, I'm not rooting for them. I'm not really rooting for anyone. If anything, I'd be more inclined to root for the 49ers because Shanahan dynasty, baby. But I part of it is I feel like Andy Reid is due. And there are those who wouldn't be wrong in saying that, Andy Reid has choked it in the big one, and that, at least to this point, has been a proven fact. I mean, you think about last year, they were in the AFC Championship game, and really, that one wasn't something that you can fault Andy Reid for at all. Ironically enough, defensive end linebacker, however you want to refer to him, for the 49ers, and Dee Ford, had that offsides penalty, and if not for that, it might be the Chiefs that are the reigning defending champions this year, and they probably are looking to go for a back-to-back at this point, for all we know. But, what ifs? That's really all there is to say about that. But for me, it's just funny because, again, it's ironic having mentioned that, especially because in the last several weeks, the Chiefs' defense has played as good as anybody. To whereas with the 49ers, this has been throughout the entire season. But at the same time, there's something to be said for peaking at the right time. And to me, I just look at the Chiefs, and that's exactly what I see as a team that just started peaking at the right time. And it was pretty interesting, to see that especially throughout the closing weeks of the regular season and really the first 2 weeks of the playoffs, that the Tennessee Titans with Derrick Henry were able to do what they were able to do, and yet it was just a night and day difference when it came to the AFC Championship game. I mean, I gotta look back at the numbers because I don't know if it was something to where they just stopped going to Derrick Henry or whatever the case may be. I mean, and I can't see where that'd be the case because early on, he was the juggernaut that we had known him to be all throughout. Yet in the end, Kansas City, especially with Patrick Mahomes, they just found a way to turn it around and just work the momentum back into their favor, enough so to where now we've got them in San Francisco. But that all being the case, I just feel like even for as great a running attack as the 49ers have, it's just, it's where it leads me to be of the mindset that, if they were able to find a way to, we'll just say, contain Derrick Henry to the extent that they were able to, and be as effective against him as they seem to have been, I don't see any reason why that can't be the case against the 49ers. I mean, you got a guy in Raheem Mostert who has been a beast. I mean, nothing short of incredible. And then you also have a guy in Tevin Coleman who was a part of the Atlanta Falcons, especially when Kyle Shanahan was their offensive coordinator. And, you know, he has had many, many moments of brilliance throughout the season. And, of course, that goes along with Matt Breida, who, you know, if and when he's healthy, you know, if he stays healthy, between him and Coleman, I mean, you got some dynamic players in that backfield that can definitely provide some mashup nightmares. But at the same time, there's just something to the way that Kansas City is playing right now to where it's hard for me to go against them right now, just objectively speaking. And again, as a Broncos fan, as I'll remind you. But nonetheless, all I care about at this point is that it's a good game. I mean, I think it's fair to say that we can all agree last year's Super Bowl was just trash. I mean, there are a lot of people that didn't care for the fact that there were people that felt that way, me included, you know, but at the same time, it is just what it is, you know. I mean, I'm just thinking back throughout my time following sports, especially the NFL, where I can think of a time where there were bad Super Bowls. I mean, and there have been plenty of them, but last year's was about the only one where, even though while it was for a short period of time, I still ended up falling asleep. So there's that. But regardless, I am just hoping for a great game. Again, I got Kansas City by no more than 7 because the 49ers are going to be fantastic. And really, as long as they don't rely solely on the run game, which I think could end up working to their detriment more than to their benefit, um, and that's more because, again, of how Kansas City's playing. They actually have a great shot at winning it. And a lot of people will talk about how they don't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think that that time he had behind Brady in New England is going to benefit him. And there are times where he's been phenomenal, to say the least, especially the game in New Orleans. I forget which week it was, but man, dude was amazing, and you just can't take anything away from him on that. But nonetheless, for those that actually do wind up seeing it, definitely let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree, or you know, just drop it in the comments section. For those that know me well enough, you know how you can reach out to me as well. If you like what you're getting with this, definitely throw a like on the video. Hopefully, if you're new, you'll subscribe. Hopefully, more and more of you will come in and subscribe. Definitely let me know what you think one way or the other, because I'm certainly a lot more interested about that than anything else. But nonetheless, I thank you very much for your time. Have a great night.